Previously on Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains.
Cyber we're moving, we're beating hacker at his game. Don't tell me that he's trying to hack the motherboard, we'll get him every time. We got the power of 1, 2, 3, 4. The chase is on, just bring MCYBERJ.
Welcome back, gamers, to the latest expansion of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. As you can tell, I'm so excited to get back to mediocrity. Is there anything for me to say that I haven't said already about any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Series? It's not exactly reinventing the wheel, which is fine, but it should at least start drafting some blueprints to attempt to do so. Because besides the dark nature of the Lost Incident, nothing else about this show stands out from the last few, besides the duels being unbelievably boring. And I didn't mention it last time, but also it's got nothing really to say about the implications and use of AI technology, especially ones that have free will, something that most sci-fi novels explore and deconstruct, bringing up themes of what it means to be human, the true nature of having a soul or free thought, and of course the moral implications of essentially creating a new race that think they are superior to humans. None of that will be explored in this show. The deepest it gets is we should be friends with AI, but we kinda can't, which is very Yu-Gi-Oh!, but don't expect thought-provoking anything from this show. Just getting you ready for this next arc, the Ignis arc, I guess. They kinda stopped naming them, even the fans did, you know, so it's just season 2 of Vrains, I guess. I mean, there is one unique thing about Vrains. Unlike other shows like GX or Arc 5, where the second season was the absolute worst of it, Vrains, the second season, I don't think is the worst season, but it doesn't really improve from season 1. If you're wondering, season 1 is the best, and you can use the process of elimination to find out which of the 3 seasons of the show is the worst, considering I said this one isn't. But the reason this one sucks specifically is the characters and the story. This season is going to straight up ruin some characters, both by the traditional womaning we all know and love, and also from the very simple bad writing, which we've all come to tolerate. And the story is kind of simple compared to solving the mystery of the Lost Incident. This one, the story is there's a big bad, we gotta stop him, that's it. You can kind of stop watching the video at this point. And again, they try to have moral quandaries, big air quotes, about the nature of AI and shit, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Bro. No one would take it seriously even if they did have good points. So with all that out the way, deactivate the forced AI assistant YouTube has probably put on this video to auto-translate it or something, and let's dig into Season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains and see just how they make a mid-series get a little bit worse. After Yusaku set him free, Ai returns to his home of the Cyburst, but finds the place completely destroyed, and the other 5 Ignis are gone. This should be impossible because if you remember, I hid the location of the Cyburst, so somehow somebody found out about it. The only thing left is our currently banned Link summoning mascot, Link Karibo. Cut to Yusaku, we find out it's been 83 days since the end of Season 1. What a very specific number.
Seriously though, you're kinda triggering me.
Since the defeat of the Hanoi, Link Vrains launched its 2.0 update. In this one, speed duels are now legal and anyone can do them, even though everyone was just already doing them no matter what. What's more, Soltech has put out a bounty on Playmaker, cause no one knows Yusaku let Ai free, so they think he still has an Ignis. Too bad for them, in those 83 days, Yusaku has not logged on at all. He's been, touching grass. Cause with the Hanoi disbanded and the Lost Incident solved, he's really got no reason to do anything. Which does not please Akira's new boss, well, I guess she was always the boss, but we've never talked about her until now, Queen. When after the Tower of Hanoi, Akira got his job as Chief of Security back. Now before you think I'm going to be simping for this bitchy mommy businesswoman, which I do, I'm not going as hard cause she barely matters, trust me. She's only going to show up to yell at Akira sometimes, God I wish that were me, and then she does one plot relevant thing later, and that's it, her job's done. Anyway, she wants results. She wants the Ignis Playmaker has right now. And Akira's like, how do you expect me to find a guy who hasn't shown up in months? She says, figure it out before I replace you with AI. So Akira hires bounty hunters to look for Playmaker. One of them is Gore. Yeah, seriously. Now I liked Gore in the first season. He wasn't great, but he was a cool character. He said jobber, which is why I hate what they do to him in season 2. The only other bounty hunter of note is a masked cowboy named Shepard, who doesn't play with teams, and he's a loose cannon who does things by his own rules. Also, his thing is he hates AI, maybe even more than Varys. Also, it seems Emma knows Shepard personally. They have some kind of history, and it doesn't seem like a great one. Cut to Coulter, who's visiting his brother Jin, another victim of the Lost Incident, which surprised me. I didn't know Coulter visited him regularly. He never did in Season 1. Jin's thing is that, unlike Yusaku and Spectre, he was super traumatized by the Lost Incident, becoming the equivalent of a vegetable, and has had cases of severe memory loss because of this trauma. And this was motivation for several things Yusaku and Coulter did back in Season 1, like when Yusaku contacted Sky for the first time. I didn't really mention it because I didn't think it would be important. He's basically a plot device, not the plot device. I don't think anyone can replace them. I mean, in terms of the story, he's not a character, because he's the driving force for this season. Because while visiting him, Coulter can't do anything when a mysterious entity comes out of the Digiverse and kidnaps Jin's soul. And yeah, they say soul despite this being all digital, apparently. I mean, it's Yu-Gi-Oh!, so that's their go-to explanation for anything in this show. It's souls and kinda magic, but also technology sometimes. So Coulter immediately calls Yusaku, who's running the hot dog truck, to go after him, and he links back into Vrains, which immediately makes headlines as everyone sees he's back, which gets the attention of Shepard, who immediately finds him, saying he doesn't care why Soltec wants him, but he wants the money. Playmaker says it's because they think he still has the Ignis, but he doesn't.
Then what's that?
What up, meatbag?
Ah, well, great timing, Well, he proves useful making a data storm to get rid of Shepard, as Playmaker finds the glowy entity that took Jin's data soul thingy, and begins a duel with it, of course. Too bad for Playmaker, though, that this bad guy has a new anime-exclusive card that all the bad guys are going to use, and the best equivalent to it is like the Seal of Orichalcos, if you remember that. It's called Judgment Arrows. It's a link spell, because you can only play it when it points to a link monster on your field or something. But it's way worse than the Seal, because the only thing it does is when it points to a link monster, it doubles the attack during damage calculation. That's it. The Seal did everything, plus gave you a hand job. This is a battle trick that's not really a trick because it's on the field and you see it coming. That's really lame. We do see that someone is watching this duel, not just anyone. Like Playmaker, they have an Ignis in their duel disc. Also, between the seasonal break, Playmaker made his deck worse and added ritual spells. I guess when you're a protagonist and you win so easily, you gotta make it challenging for yourself somehow. During the duel, we see the mysterious entity was disguising itself, and then we see his true form. Oh my god, it's a black guy. I guess that's scary to some people. Then a kid shows up calling himself Harlan, and this is Bowman, and he has amnesia, and was told by winning duels he will get his memory back. He does not win, so Harlan takes Bowman away and sends two other guys named Bit and Boot to stop Playmaker from following them. But that's when the man with the Ignis comes in to deal with them, so Playmaker can chase the other two.
The name is Soulburner. I'm only telling you my name because I figured you'd like to know who's sending you home in ashes.
All the important characters have been watching these duels, by the way, like Akita, Emma, Sky, and Akita assumes Soulburner must be a victim of the Lost incident because he has an Ignis. He also has the best deck in the show, Salamangreat cards, which at this time are broken, so he easily wins, and tells Playmaker, who lost Harlan and Bowman, that he'll see him around sometime. We then see Harlan and Bowman bring Jin's soul data thing to a mysterious figure. They also refer to I as the Dark Ignis, who escaped the Cyberse, and this figure erases Bowman's memories again, as he says. Back IRL, Yusaku is approached by a new student named Theo, who immediately identifies himself as Soulburner, knowing who he is because of Flame. Then they go somewhere private, and Flame tells I and Yusaku about what happened at the Cyberse. Now, around the time the Tower of Hanoi stuff was going on, someone other than Varys found the Cyberse and attacked them all. Only thing Flame knows is the one who attacked them used that link spell card Bowman had. And during the attack, all 5 Ignis scattered. Flame on the run decided, like I, to find the human he was based on during the Lost incident. That's how he got to Theo, and asked for his help in finding his friends, and knowing Playmaker had an Ignis, they came here. So it seems Bowman, who took Jin's data, and the one who attacked the Cyberse, are connected, so they have to find them. One problem, Coulter, who meets Theo and Flame, tells them he tracked Bowman to the restricted area, which is going to be hard to get into, because it's restricted. But they have more of a reason to go, as I and Flame recognize an Ignis algorithm, one of the Wind Ignis. Apparently he's hiding out there beyond the restricted section. And unbeknownst to them, it's going to be even harder, because Akita is sending the bounty hunters, Gore and Shepard, to track Bowman in the beyond restricted area, because he thinks that guy will help them find Playmaker. But in secret, he meets with Emma and Sky too, and shortly after that, Playmaker gets a message from Ghost Gal. It's a map of the restricted area. Obviously the timing is suspicious, but they need to get there fast so they use it. However, they get intercepted by Gore, so Soulburner duels him, while Playmaker duels his jobber flunkies. And okay, I liked Gore in the first season. He was fine, not greatly developed because he didn't have anything to do with the main plot, like at all. He was not connected to anything going on. But he was fun, had a good heart. They completely fuck him this season. Because even Theo looked up to Gore, not just him, also Playmaker and Blue Angel, as all of them were credited with taking down the Hanoi, which is the biggest lie ever. All Blue Angel did was lose. she did fucking nothing. Gore at least put up a fight and gave Playmaker some info. At least he did something. Why the fuck are we giving her credit? Well, despite this fake news, it seems no one cared about the fact Gore helped. They only cared about Playmaker, and he did not like this. That's why he's hunting him now. Yeah, they took his thing from his introductory duel episode, which was wrapped up at that time, or so I thought, and now it's his whole thing for the entire season. Yes, his whole thing for the next 50-ish episodes is just him obsessing with beating Playmaker. He's no longer an ally. Normally, I like a good wrestler turning heel, but what the fuck? This comes out of left field. Like, we already know Gore was good because the kids liked him as much as Playmaker. It was settled, but they decided to make him an antagonist this season. For no reason. The only one I can think of is because now they have Soulburner helping Playmaker, so they needed something for Gore to do. So they decided to make him an asshole. Well, at least Theo is actually more interesting than Gore, because one of the reasons he's here is that after the Lost incident, he got kind of fucked in the ass. Because when he returned home to his family, they weren't around anymore, because his parents died in a car crash when they were out looking for him. So he spent his adolescence living with his grandparents and mostly trying to move on. That's when he saw the news of Vrains and the Hanoi being beaten, and met Flame, and helped inspire him to actually get off his ass and do something about this. So he tries to knock some sense into Gore by beating him in a duel, but nah, he's actually gonna get worse. Meanwhile, Playmaker is intercepted by Shepard, and they begin a duel where we learn some backstory, that Shepard hates AI because a self-driving car crashed and his mom died. I mean, that's sad, that sucks, but I was expecting more, like that's it, that's the whole backstory of why he hates AI. Well, there might be more to Shepard, because also arriving at the restricted area is Ghost Gal and Blue Angel, who we learn were tasked by Akira to find the other 4 Ignis off the record. Because Akira does want to find out if they really are a threat to humanity, and if they're not, then he plans to make sure his bosses never get them. As they enter, Sky uses an avatar redesign ticket and now has a new look. Since she's not here to be an idol, she's here to fight, which is weird. She had no inclination to do that last season when she was fighting terrorists. It's just an excuse to sell more body pillows, isn't it? Emma decides to name this new form Blue Gal, which is kind of funny.
What if I call you Blue Gal? Or what if you don't name me after your own avatar? Does that work for you? Okay, whatever.
Anyway, they see Shepard is dueling Playmaker, and Emma tells Sky her and Akira were bounty hunters with him one time. Man, Akira's had a lot of jobs. But Shepard used them as decoys to get this spider centaur guy? What the fuck? Why aren't we following this dude? He looks way more interesting than anything happening right now. Yeah, anyway, Emma and Shepard are on the best of terms. Back in the duel, in order for Playmaker to win, he busts out his trump card. He didn't just add one out-of-date summoning mechanic to his deck, he added dos. Playmaker wins, and him and Soulburner make it beyond the restricted area, into a canyon with a lot of wind. Also, Emma and Sky make it too, but can't make it through the storm. The guys are able to, mainly because Windy turns it off when he notices Eye and Flame are with them, and they all meet. We see Windy made his own little cyberse here and has no intention of leaving, he's just here to chill. When they ask him if he's seen Bowman, he says he hasn't. But if he came here, maybe he's on the outskirts of this world, because he doesn't really pay attention to that part. But before they go, he asks them to get rid of the girls here, because he wants to be left alone, and usually he'd use his wind to smear them on the cliffs, but figured they wouldn't like that. The guys try to tell the girls who meet Soulburner for the first time that it's dangerous and to trust them and leave. But for some reason, Blue Gal is very antagonistic, saying they should trust them too, and they were sent here to capture an Ignis. So she provokes Soulburner, saying she's gonna take his?
I'm not planning on leaving this place without an Ignis. And I see one right there before my eyes.
Well, I think you should look elsewhere.
I don't.
What the fuck, Sky? What crawled up your ass? Why are you acting like this? Are you desperate to prove yourself because of how womaned you got last season? Also, what do you mean capture? Akira specifically said he wanted you to find them and determine if they were a threat.
I need to know if the Ignis are a threat to humanity. Because if they're not, there are many who want to see them eradicated.
Like, were your brother complex senses going off too much at the time to listen? And despite talking shit the whole duel and before, woman in Yu-Gi-Oh! So she loses, and Soulburner forcefully logs her out. Then gets Emma to skedaddle. Then in a weird moment that never comes back up, Flame goons for Emma. We're sure he's not my Ignis? Meanwhile, Playmaker makes it to the outskirts to find Bowman. And he finds him. Wow, that was easy. The two begin a duel, and it seems Bowman got some screws loose, as he says he's Yusaku. Yeah, seriously. He claims during the Lost incident, the AI being developed went into his human body, believing him to be Yusaku, and Yusaku's mind was shoved into Bowman's, so he wants his body back. I is easily fooled, but Playmaker immediately is like, what are you talking about? That's stupid. But to prove it, Bowman shows he can use Storm Access, which doesn't prove anything because Varys could also do that. It's just a skill from a children's card game. It's not that unique. So Playmaker realizes Bowman must be getting woman. Someone's messing with his memories. But somehow they know about him. After winning the duel, Bowman escapes again, and the world starts collapsing, so the guys log out. What a great trip. We accomplished... Well, in the meantime, why not visit some old antagonists? That's right, the Hanoi have returned. You know what else has returned? Clip shows. That's right, the way they reintroduced these villains, this massive threat from the first season, the main antagonists, with a recap episode. They're still doing them, not as much as season 1 thankfully, but they're still here. Only plot-related things is Byra, aka Clarissa, aka a doctor I need to visit, is the only one who was arrested as she got losted by Varys, if you remember, and the other Hanoi break her out. And yeah, that's it. Back to business. We got the wife back. Also, yes, she just goes back to working for Varys, no questions asked, does not bring up the situation after, you know, he literally put her in a coma. Anyway, it turns out Wendy's area just suddenly disappeared out of nowhere, and Team Soul, I'll call them, I guess, Akira, Emma, and Sky figure the best way to go forward is to find Playmaker's secret identity to be able to contact him and get his Ignis if it is dangerous. So Emma and Blue Angel try to get info from Shima, or the Brave Battler. Yeah, this is another comedic episode. Because Shima's still going around saying he's Playmaker's best buddy like a dumbass. They find out he is just a dumbass, and nothing was accomplished. What an integral episode to the story. I'm so glad I spent 20 minutes of my life watching that. Back with characters that matter, Coulter detects a signal similar to Bowman, and they go to investigate. But it's a trap by Shepard, this time after Soulburner, where he somehow uses technology and children's card games, I guess, to look into Theo's memories, where we see after the loss incident, he no longer dueled and mostly stayed home despite having a cute childhood friend to hang out with all the time, and he defends her from some bullies. That's when he meets Flame and duels those bullies. And we see Theo has some other trauma from the loss incident. He fears the card Despair from the Dark, as it beat him a lot during the incident. And if you remember, losing was not a good thing there. Also, he was a kid and it's scary, so he freezes up every time he sees it. Shepard in the present duels Shepard in the present duels why can I not say this? Shepard in the present duels Soulburner, summoning the card, causing him to freak out. Yeah, it seems like Shepard is willing to do anything to kill any form of these AI bots, always taking his Instagram art and using it to train to make shitty AI art. Fucking clickers. But then, this moment made Theo my favorite character of this whole show, because he reveals he was faking it.
When I looked into your memories, despair from the dark paralyzed you in fear.
What could have given you that idea?
I know what I heard. You said it yourself.
Oh no! Shepard is using Soulburner's greatest fear against him!
Unless you were lying.
I most certainly was not. It was his greatest fear, just not anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, he pulled the old Uno reverse card on Shepard, who thought he won. That's right, Shepard didn't watch the entire flashback all the way to the end. He's not a real Yu-Gi-Oh fan like me. I've watched every single one of these clip shows. Because back in the past, when he dueled the bullies, he got over his fear, and that's what helped him decide to go help Flame and meet Playmaker, knowing that he was able to conquer his trauma. He wanted to do more. I love that. Not just Theo's backstory, where he is basically just the protagonist of his own anime, but the fact he tricked Shepard like that, who starts bitching that he was tricked and gets all salty about it, but Soulburner points out that he just used his own tactics against him.
Hold it right there! Your AI said it couldn't activate that card!
It lied.
You programmed your AI to lie? That's cheating, you cheating cheater!
No, it's not.
What? Yes, it is!
No, it's not. It's your fault for believing what it said.
Yeah, look, I'm not a fan of Shepard. I don't think he's cool or whatever, and when we find out his real backstory, no to everything. But Theo is awesome, and unlike Yusaku, who's mostly a boring Batman, especially since he's over the Lost incident, there's really nothing about him that's interesting anymore, Theo actually has a personality and a reason for fighting. Honestly, he should have been the main character this season. They just didn't, because they have to keep the first one, I guess. Also, his name doesn't start with U. Despite that though, Shepard turns it around and seems like he's about to win, but Emma, who's been watching the whole time and we established does not like Shepard, helps Coulter again, giving him Shepard's code to get Soulburner out. And Emma immediately reveals herself as Shepard turns his Iron Man repulsors on her and is about to fire. And we don't know how that ends. Yeah, the next episode cuts to the next day onto a different plot, and we just assume she gets away, I guess, because next time we do see her, episodes later, she's fine. They baited a cliffhanger that never gets resolved. what the hell? Instead of that, we get an origin story. Why aren't you smiling? Because another day at school, Shima makes hints he knows Yusaku's secret. That involves Playmaker. Obviously, this is something else, he's an idiot. It's just an excuse so Theo can ask Coulter how the two of them started working together. So Coulter explains that when Jin came back from the lost incident, he was, well, not in a good place. And Coulter started looking into the incident, unknown at the time, that Soltech was trying to cover it up. But he was determined to help his brother, so he spent years researching the lost incident, learning to code and be an elite hacker, and eventually found out the Hanoi's connection to the incident. So he went around trying to find them, but when he gets chased by them, he runs into Yusaku, who at the time was not going by Playmaker, he didn't really have a name for himself. And Coulter sees his skills as a duelist and has him meet him at his hot dog cart. And the two team up, with Coulter being the brains and Yusaku the sweaty TCG player. And that's not where it ends, because you may have forgotten, I wouldn't blame you, that Yusaku uses Cyber's cards, and this next flashback explains how he got them. When Coulter finds some rumors about a dungeon in Vrains, it is like an MMO, so I guess a dungeon's not that weird. Yeah, I guess I've never really talked about it. The actual game of Link Vrains kind of makes no sense. I don't really think they thought about it at all. Let's just say I think Sword Art Online makes more sense than Link Vrains. That's saying something. Yusaku wants these cards because he knows the Hanoi are after them. So they go to this dungeon and have to solve a duel puzzle. Neat. He solves it, but the cards aren't there. It's a phony. But Yusaku saw that the solution to the puzzle was similar to a location in Den City. Oh yeah, it's the name of their town. I don't think I've ever mentioned that either. Where inside the chest were the Cyber's cards. Also, the name Playmaker comes from Coulter suggesting Yusaku call himself something since he never did. And yeah, that's the origin of their bromance. Neat. Another day at Yusaku's house, I and Robapi. Remember him? What do you mean you don't? I mentioned him once in the last video, remember? Well, you better start, because he is actually a very important character. No, I'm serious. He'll come up later. Remember him. He's super important. Robapi, the vacuum cleaner, I think he is. The two are mostly trolling on message boards until I sees one message from the Earth Ignis. Apparently it's for Yusaku and that he wants to meet. Meanwhile, Akira is meeting with Queen again, who's pissed they don't have a single Ignis yet. And Akira mentions he's working on it, calm yourself, woman. But not in a way like that, you know, would get him fired. And he mentions Gore is undergoing special tests right now. Yusaku on the way there has I explained the roles of the three Ignis we haven't met. Light was the leader of the Ignis, Water, the girl, has the ability to detect lies, and Earth he doesn't explain because they find him. And he contacted Playmaker because he wants to duel him to find out if these human meatbags are worth backing in this war. During the duel, I forgot how these things happen, it doesn't matter, but we find out Earth has a thing for the Water Ignis and even has some of our cards, and one of the reasons he wants to help is because Water is missing, and also Earth is actually the Ignis based off Spectre, which considering he lost to Playmaker, Earth does too. He doesn't promise to help, but says those meatbags are pretty interesting. Another day, Yusaku wakes up to find Aya somehow left his duel disc. Oh, he locked him in there again for no reason really. Him, Coulter, and Theo analyze Robapi's memories. See, I told you he'd come up. This isn't the part I meant, but he's coming back up. Remember him. And see, I was lured into a door via an Ignis algorithm and is now somewhere in cyberspace. We see I has ended up in the Cyberse, but not really. It's a cheap knockoff, and meets who brought him here, Windy, and the Light Ignis, who they call Lightning.
Where have you been, Lightning? You couldn't hit me up to tell me you're alive?
No, I couldn't risk it. You see, after the Hanoi attacked the Cyberse, I was disturbed.
They explained to I that after escaping the Cyberse, the two regrouped and realized that someone must have betrayed them and told whoever attacked them about the location of the Cyberse. And since she's missing, the Water Ignis they call Aqua must be the culprit. Because while I was gone, all the Ignis were discussing if they should or should not work with the humans who tried to destroy them. And Aqua was for the humans. Lightning and Windy, though, don't like us very much. Honestly, these days I can't defend us either. After Kagami branded them as a threat and Varus attacked them years ago, they want to do the thing the Hanoi are preaching, which is destroy humanity, and want I to join them. They try to convince him, considering Playmaker treats I a lot like a joke, and that true coexistence can never happen. Let's see what he has to say, as Playmaker tracked I here, and heard most of the conversation and tries to stop them, but Lightning traps the two. Playmaker tries to convince them to stop this and resolve everything peacefully, but their counter-argument is Soltech and the Hanoi want nothing more to destroy or use them, and they attacked first technically, and that all the idealistic protagonist speeches can't sway him. But shockingly, someone shows up to save the day and make things more complicated. Varus. The other Hanoi are here too. They track the Ignis through Technobabble, and to start his mini-genocide, Varus duels Windy first. And through the duel of Playmaker trying to make everyone play nice, we find out about the human Windy was based on. Well, as much as we can, because Windy killed the human based on him. Simply because he didn't like him, he says. Giving Varus all the more reason, and allows him to show he also upgraded his deck with Synchro Summoning. and using it, he nearly deletes Windy, but Lightning saves him at the last second. Also, during all that, Soulburner showed up. Lightning seems cornered, but he reveals some things. That Bowman and the kid, I don't remember his name, he doesn't matter, work for him. That's not all, but Lightning was the one who took Jin's data, because he's the Ignis based on Jin. Twist! And then we get a really long segment of everyone just standing in this room talking to each other, even though they all want to kill each other, as Lightning decides to just reveal his plan. That he was the one who attacked the Cyberse with the Link spell, because he and Windy wanted to destroy the humans while Aqua and Flame were opposed. Earth was Switzerland, but considering his affinity for Aqua, Lightning knew he'd be outvoted, so he decided to stage an attack on the Cyberse and make it look like the humans did it, with the plan to use this as an excuse to destroy humanity. Everyone wins. So with that said, he drops the mic and leaves with his minions, with Playmaker and Soulburner chasing. The Hanoi stay behind for now, saying they should let their enemies take each other out first, and send a message to Akira at Soltech to help liven up the party. And that's when the bounty hunters minus Gore show up. So Lightning sends his Bit and Boot AI to deal with them. Eventually Playmaker catches up with Bowman and we learn his true identity. He's an AI created by Lightning to be the perfect artificial intelligence, since he realized if the humans suck and they made the Ignis, then the Ignis suck. His first attempts were the Bits and Boots and then the kid, with Bowman being the newest and most perfect one. And then he goes on about how he's perfect and the Ignis and humans fight because they suck and they're imperfect. You can probably see where this is going. The two duel again, and during the duel, I gives Playmaker advice, which he ignores at first, but something tells I it's correct, and it was, saving Playmaker's skin. That's when Bowman reveals something about I, and why Lightning wants him out of the picture, specifically because he's the only Ignis that has instinct. A thing that can't be programmed, which made him lazy, as he didn't do anything. But the fact that he was able to do that was special enough, because he's an AI, a program, he should have a purpose. And being a sack of shit inspired the other Ignis to gain Ultra Instinct as well.
I can't tell if he's complimenting me or insulting me.
I think it's a little of column A, a lot of column B.
Cool, I guess. I upgrades PM's deck, so now he can Synchro Summon. And he doesn't win, but the duel is a tie. As he leaves though, Bowman is like, I got you downloaded, scrub, and he'll win next time. Sure, bud. And Lightning is able to escape, and then everyone else leaves. But IRL, Yusaku and Coulter are surprised to get a visit from Rokin, I forgot that was his name, who gives Playmaker a special program to protect him from the Ignis in case he gets captured again. Wondering why he'd help him, Rokin says the enemy of my enemy, for now, is not my enemy, so he threw him a bone. Hearing that and considering they might need help, Yusaku decides to meet with Akira IRL, but not revealing his identity simply to tell him about the Light Ignis declaration of war, and the other exposition and stuff that I talked about, just in case he can't stop him, he'll leave it to Akira.
Well, that's one heck of an info dump.
Thank you again, Emma, for pointing out things I'm thinking too, but just because you guys write in a character acknowledging the fact that you did something kind of annoying doesn't make it less annoying. Akira tells Emma and Sky about all that, and Emma has the idea, since Earth and Aqua are neutral, to recruit them to their side, so the girls go to look for them. Inside Vrains, Earth has been searching for Aqua, and is able to find her, trapped in a cage. Dang, even the AI in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are a woman. But before anything else, Playmaker and Soulburner find them, and one of the bounty hunters. Sigh, it's Gore. And he's been dieting, I guess. No, it's far worse than that. Cause, in order to beat Playmaker, Gore underwent experiments at Soltech, one that would fuse him with machines, as he got an AI chip implanted in his brain, allowing him to now think at the speed of a computer with the sacrifice of, obvious humanity and junk. Also, it gives him a new skill, Anti-Skill, which cancels out other skills. Whatever, that's stupid. Look, I can believe Gore would become a bounty hunter because he's jealous of Playmaker again, or whatever. It's still stupid and erases development, but I could buy it if it was done well, which we've established it wasn't, and then they decided to double down on the terribleness, because there is no way in hell the character from the first season, who was all about dueling for the kids and his fame and selflessly fought against the Hanoi, would go through torture and experimentation from a greedy corporation that he knows is shady, just to beat a guy in a children's card game because he didn't get properly credited. Hell, even in this arc, when he dueled Soulburner, when Akira's assistant tried to interfere for reasons I'm not mentioning, she's a reoccurring character who sims for Akira, none of it matters, he throws himself in the way defending Soulburner because he wanted to win based on his own merits. With no help. That was less than 20 episodes ago. Does that sound like the same guy we're looking at? What a load. This might be the biggest assassination of a character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Mai was a victim of writers not knowing what to do with her, Shark was forced conflict, and yes, I count that, and Plot Device was doomed from the start. This was so out of left field, it comes from a different stadium, giving the most flimsy excuse to turn him into an antagonist because they didn't know what to do with him. Here's an idea for you Yu-Gi-Oh writers. Stop making new characters all the fucking time, then you won't have this problem. And if you can't help yourselves for some reason, then just don't put them in the story. It's fine, no one's gonna question why they're not there. I'd rather have that than turn Gore into a shitty Spider-Man villain. And to top off the shit cake is the actual writing of what's about to happen in this show. We're about to witness a very monumental moment and a very pivotal plot point is about to happen. And they fuck that up too. Cause, thanks to this cheat algorithm, Gore does beat Earth in a duel and captures him, making it the first Soul gets. And immediately Queen straps him to a table and decodes Earth, breaking him down, effectively killing him. And the reaction to this major character dying, and it's just more fuel to the war that's brewing, is treated like a minor inconvenience. Yeah, they played out the sad music, him calling for Aqua, blah blah blah, but the characters' reactions are nothing. Like Sky and Emma hack into the mainframe or whatever and witness Earth dying, and Sky is just like, damn, not cool. She actually says that.
I saw what happened to the Earth, Ignis. I don't know what you were thinking, but 2 words. Not cool.
That's how I want every character to react in every story I watch from now on. When someone dies and there's a very clear turning point in the story, I want them to go, huh, that sucks. Now, yeah, Ai's reaction is good here. He's actually upset about it because it's his friend, and he starts blaming the humans, which causes Yusaku to worry. You don't have to worry, that doesn't go anywhere. But wait, it gets worse. Because after that character assassination and the literal character assassination that no one cared about, we get some stupid made-up backstory the writers just came up with to add depth to characters that don't need it because they don't matter to the overall story. Sky has a dream about a girl from her past named Miyu. It'll come up later. For now, Emma says she might have found a way to locate Aqua, who we cut to, and we can see her and the other Ignis could sense Earth's death, I guess, as Shepard finds her. But before he deletes her, Ghost Gal and Blue Gal show up. Yeah, Emma's plan was following Shepard, which he does not like. And they trap him in some digital world thingy. Emma goes to deal with him by dueling him while Blue Gal talks to Aqua. And it seems Aqua knows her as Sky. That's because the last child from the Lost incident was Sky's friend as a kid, Miyu. The two bonded over lying, long story, I'm not explaining it, it doesn't matter. But it turns out just to be a dick, I guess, Lightning put Miyu under one of those virus things like the deleted. So Blue Gal promises to help Aqua and save Miyu. Looks like main girl has her own Ignis now, who cares? It also gets another avatar now named Blue Maiden. Why is she getting so many identities? Are we really trying to sell that many body pillows? Back with the actual hot girl, she duels Shepard. But before that, Shepard says he's tired of her interfering, and this will be a deletion duel. Which means, unlike usual, when you lose a duel, you get logged out. I guess that was the penalty. I guess they've, again, been very vague about what happened when you lose a duel here. I don't really think it matters. But with a deletion duel, the winner deletes the loser's avatar, locking them out of Link Vrains, which should not matter at all for either of these people. It's shown both of them are genius hackers, and you're telling me burner accounts don't exist in this world? How would this affect them at all? People who get banned in Call of Duty lobbies are back playing in seconds after making a new account. This is not a big deal to anyone who's ever been online. But then the stupid part I mentioned about adding depth to characters, that's here with these two. Cause during the duel, Emma reveals that her and Shepard are related. Yeah, they're siblings. Well, half-siblings. Apparently Emma's dad at one point fucked Shepard's mom, who by the way is alive? Yeah, that's a thing. I thought she died, that's why he hates AI, but no, she's like in a coma, which still sucks. Why is every woman in a coma in this show, by the way? But at least she's alive, dude. I don't know, get a hobby. And honestly, the show barely explains how this relationship is supposed to work. I assume the dub cut stuff out of the original Japanese because there's probably some adultery going on. I don't know, one of you nerds can tell me in the comments. But it seems Emma's dad boned Shepard's mom at some point and dipped, living a life with Emma and her hot mom while leaving the Shepards to fend for themselves. Okay. What does this add to anything? What does this add to the story or character dynamics? The rest of the show would have played out exactly the same. Like Emma losing this duel despite using infinite impermanence for the first time. Yeah, she still lost using one of the best negates in the game. But at the end, it seems Shepard has a heart after all, sparing, deleting Emma, and leaves after she tells him, "No bro, our dad said he felt bad he abandoned you before he died, so it's okay," and he leaves. Oh, I guess he wouldn't have spared Emma if they weren't related, so now this matters. Man, what great payoff. I'm sure that this will continue to do so in the future. When he returns, Shepard finds something out, getting into Soltek's database, and confronts Akira, saying he discovered Soltek is using the Ignis to make more sophisticated AI. And Akira is like, Yeah, so what? What did you think we were gonna do with AI? So Shepard quits because he wants to destroy AI, not make more. He's going solo. But someone else wants that hatred of NFTs on his side. Varys, who finds Shepard and knows his past and hatred of AI and tries to recruit him with a duel. I will say Varys is slowly turning into my favorite duelist because of his decks. Not only did he have Mirror Force the last time, but now he uses Imperial Order. Despite all the new cards and stuff, he appreciates the classics. Varys wins, but Shepard refuses to join the Hanoi because he's an angry loner. I really don't know why he wouldn't want to join the Hanoi. They literally want the same thing. I mean, he wants to destroy all AI, they just want the Ignis, but like, I don't know, he's just acting like a brat for no reason. Oh wait, there is a reason. It's so he can die. Because Lightning, who's healing Wendy, sees Varys and Shepard meeting, and even he realizes them teaming up is bad news bears. So he lures Shepard to his little hidey hole to take him out alone. Thank God, I was really getting sick of Shepard. He is such a baby. Do people really like this guy? Do you think he's cool? Every word out of his mouth is like, shut up, my mom is hurt, fuck AI, I work alone, shut up, I'm a loner, cool guy, I'll kill you. He's like a parody of this kind of revenge-seeking loner character. Even his voice sounds like he's doing his best Christian Bale impression.
I never agreed to join you if I lost. This is a gun.
Anyway, Shepard duels Lightning, and cause we need an audience to do the play-by-play, and characters can just instantly know where people are when the script needs it now all of a sudden, the MMO parties show up of Playmaker, Soulburner, Ghost Gal, and Blue whatever she's called now, as they all form their own little guild since Blue has Aqua now. Also, Varys and Spectre show up because why not? Anyway, this duel is just to show how OP Lightning is by killing Shepard, and now all of a sudden Emma acts like some worried sister going, oh Nichan, no, as Shepard loses. Yeah, I'm so invested in this relationship they introduced 3 episodes ago. They gave me so many reasons to care, like, well, at least I don't have to hear this guy go on about being alone, thank God. He gets deleted, infected with a virus, I don't really care. He's gone, and Lightning just escapes. No one, even Varys, who wants to murder him, try to stop him. They just let him go. The main villain of this arc. Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Sometime later, oh God, it's about Gore, I don't care. You know, that is the major problem with the season for me. I don't care about anything going on right now. Like, why do I, as the viewer, care about what's happening? The ultimate goal for Playmaker is to get Jin's soul data back, that's it, and I guess make peace between AI and humans. But I know nothing about Jin, except he's a woman in this, technically, with how he's being treated. And we will learn soon that the whole AI conflict is nothing and comes to a not satisfying conclusion at all, trust me, don't get your hopes up. Oh God, the duels have gotten so much worse. Like, a lot of them are 2-parters for no reason. A duel being multiple parts used to mean something, now it's standard because they take so long, not because they need to be. Take this one between Playmaker and AI enhanced Gore. This doesn't need to be 2 parts. Watch, I'll sum it up in a few sentences. Gore wants to go harder into the Matrix because the script says he hates Playmaker so much now. Akira says no, you could die, but Queen's like, eh, so what? So the jobbers duel. Remember when Gore used to say that when he was a good character? Big reveal, he now has Earth's data or whatever because he uses his monsters. But Playmaker can Xyz summon now, and Gore thinks to himself as he loses, maybe putting AI chips in my brain was not the best idea, as Akira saves him from killing himself for revenge, and Queen's all mad about it. There, that took 2 minutes, cause I didn't have to explain card effects and show 20 flashbacks. Oh, but Brian, there can't be that many flashbacks, the next episode's another clip show. That's all flashbacks. Yeah, this show is starting to suck. I'm losing interest fast. Something better happens soon. I'm going to start summarizing a lot because I don't want to be here anymore. And unfortunately, this is another clip show with plot and character stuff at the end, so you kind of have to watch it. Because after watching those past episodes, Yusaku realizes, man, I kind of wasted my life lusting for revenge and playing children's card games. I should have done what normal teenagers do, like lusting after girls and playing children's card games. Also, he gets a message from Varys to meet with the MMO party because he wants to team up. But before anyone can say anything, Soulburner challenges Varys to a duel, because he knows he's involved with the Lost incident because Hanoi and wants closure. But Varys does nothing during the duel, kind of throwing. So the duel is called off, and while everyone else is skeptical, Playmaker accepts Varys' offer. Varys needs help realizing how strong Lightning is and reveals his plan. In Link Vrains 1.0, the version with the Tower of Hanoi still in it, destroyed. Yeah, Soltech, like a proper game company, just left the assets in the game and made the new Link Vrains overtop the old one. And by rebuilding it, they're able to find Lightning, who is hiding in some third dimension of Link Vrains, inside the code of the world, I guess. I don't really understand how this works. Ever since Dinosaur Hasselberry, I just smile and nod. And so they all go to face Lightning, except Emma, she stays behind, which considering she's lost 3 out of the 4 duels she had, and the only one she won was against Shima, yeah, I'd leave her behind too. Although usually I like to be behind her, if you know what I'm saying. And alright, we're at episode 85 now. Yeah, it's been going that fast. And there are only 17 episodes left. This ends at episode 102, and it's mostly duels. There's some exposition, but it's mostly card effects and flashbacks, so I'll spare you the details. As it's the MMO party plus Hanoi versus the machines. First is Blue. She changes her name so often, I'm gonna just call her Sky for the rest of the show. Sky duels the kid Harlan. Oh, that was his name. The shocking part isn't that Sky now has a worse deck because Aqua put Marincess cards in it, but she actually wins with it, which I was surprised by because if you're not keeping track, the last duel she won was against Byra 50 episodes ago. At least the fact that she's dueling is why I'm not calling her plot device. Harlan gets deleted, I guess, and now Bowman is mad, wanting revenge for his brother. That's when suddenly the Link Vrains in cyberspace starts merging. That can't be good, and everyone gets separated. This was Lightning's doing, because he plans to divide and conquer. And first up is the Hanoi, specifically Spectre. He duels him because he thinks he's the weakest. He's right. I mean, bro even does a perfect Link occupying every monster zone, and still loses. What a useful 40 minutes that was. The worst part about them being separated though is now everyone watches the other duels happening and commentates over them. So like the Friendship Cup, the rest of this arc is people trapped in one area talking about stuff they're watching on a TV. And the next people to talk about stuff is everyone who aren't Soulburner and Windy as they duel. Soulburner Ignis summons. That is literally the only note I made for this duel. I want you to understand how much nothing is happening right now. Soulburner wins, and Flame decides to absorb Windy's data so he can continue to live on in a way. Next is a little revenge trip, as Bowman duels Sky, wanting revenge for Harlan. And Bowman reveals he's probably the most powerful villain in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because he reveals that he has obtained gulp bonds. Because despite not being his real brother, he did care about Harlan and actually does feel sadness and anger at his death, and has obtained emotions. Also kind of important, he merges himself with Link Vrains, basically making himself an admin. He can Thanos snap and make things go his way at any point, and traps everyone in the game. Right now they can't log out. He's basically a god in this world. Which, considering this is Yu-Gi-Oh! That's nowhere near as scary as him obtaining friendship powers, yeah, you're fucked, Sky. She loses. Oh, also, Akira and Emma, meanwhile, were like in Link Vrains doing some other shit, and they were watching this duel. I don't really care, man. And to let him say goodbye, Bowman teleports Akira there. I can't believe they're trying to make me feel sad for Sky dying. Again. Pretty sure she's now past Astral for the most on-screen death fakeouts. Because of course, they don't have the balls to kill her off, like why are we even pretending this is sad? More importantly, Bowman absorbs Aqua's data, and also Earth's data, as Aqua kept some of it, sort of, and leaves. Next to duel is Playmaker, but he's shocked that his opponent is Coulter? Nanny the fuck? Wait a minute. That's actually kinda interesting. Oh my god, is a duel actually going to be interesting? Kinda. The reason he's here is because Lightning has a good plan for once. He went to Coulter offering Jin's data. The condition, beat Playmaker in a duel. But if Coulter loses or ends in a draw or doesn't accept, then he will delete Jin's data. And he'd die, I assume. So now Yusaku is in a catch-22 situation. He wins, he kills his best friend. Kills. He loses, then everything's fucked. Lightning did this because I guess he talked to Vector and realized how friendship horny these protagonists are. But luckily, these protagonists are actually smart. Because before this all started, Yusaku and Coulter had a conversation that they figured Lightning would do something like this, and if it came down to it, Coulter wants Yusaku to beat him no matter what, because he knows by him pressing on, he can save everyone else, even Jin. So gritting his teeth and finally coming to terms with what he has to do, Playmaker OTKs Coulter, turning him into Data, as he shows the most emotion we've ever seen.
Coulter!
Coulter's gone!
I didn't get to say goodbye.
Wait, what the fuck? You mean you could have let this guy act the whole time? What the fuck? Lightning comes to taunt Playmaker about killing his friend, but then he reveals he figured he'd do something like this and the plan backfired, as now Yusaku is more determined than ever to beat Lightning. But he passes out from the duel injuries, and Soulburner arrives to protect them from Bowman, who arrives after Lightning leaves. But he isn't here for Playmaker because he wants to duel him at full strength. He wants Flame. But Theo is big mad after watching what they did to Coulter, so he's gonna stop Bowman here. But during the duel, Flame starts glitching out because of Windy. He's still around and is slowly taking over Flame, until Flame through force of will, I guess, suppresses him, and Windy is gone for good. Okay? What was the point of that? I'm saying that a lot this video, aren't I? I mean, you could have used that time to have Flame help Soulburner because Bowman summons the monster Lightning used to attack the Cyberse and beats him. Soulburner gets coded and now Bowman has the data of Flame and Wind. He's almost got the full set. He just needs I, who's with Playmaker, who woke up and saw Soulburner lose. But now rushes to where Vrains is, because he sees he's with Lightning as Vrains lured him in, saying he knows a secret. Apparently Lightning was conducting something called Project Ignis Futura. Futura? For Futanari? And not wanting to hear any more, Lightning duels him to shut him up. Trigger. Eventually Bowman and Playmaker show up, and with the remainder of this mini-war here, Vrains reveals Lightning's little secret. The real reason he started this whole war against humanity. Project Ignis Futanari is actually a bunch of simulations about if the Ignis and humanity can coexist. But Lightning did it a bit differently, as he also concluded that they can't coexist, but ran other simulations with each Ignis individually, and the result was a shocking 100% compatible. Yeah, every Ignis could individually work with humans. So if that's the case, then why, when as a group, does the sim turn out negative? Well, it's cause all but one can coexist. Lightning. Yep, his hatred for humans and his superiority complex go so deep, he is the reason Ignis and humans can't coexist. So he wanted to make sure the other Ignis didn't find out about this, cause if they did, or the humans did, it's logical they'd all try to get rid of him. That's right, he started all of this, the war, creating more intelligent AI, killing his own people and humans for self-preservation. Which I'm glad, I think it's a way better and way more interesting reason than, you know, AI are better than humans, like, seen that shtick before. And to show how much more of a bastard Lightning is, he also reprogrammed Windy. That's right, he never hated humans, but Lightning needed someone on his side and chose him. So yeah, he wasn't evil initially, he just got womaned. Told you, not even the AI are safe. But Lightning was always fucked up, cause we learned Jin is so traumatized, cause during the Lost incident, Lightning would make Jin think he would be freed over and over again, all the time, just cause he felt like it. That when he actually was freed, he, well, turned into the Jin we know now. And to top it off, it wasn't Soltech that infected Kagami, that was Lightning too. He tried to get rid of him for the same self-preservation reasons, making sure that he wouldn't run those sims by individual Ignis and discover he's the problem, which is being an understatement with all the stuff he's revealing. And no, I don't consider this the whole thing of the villain planning everything else since the beginning. The Kagami thing was unnecessary, but this all makes sense. And honestly, I think this is great. Lightning was shown to be cold and calculated before, but after the culture thing, this revelation, he's actually more interesting than I thought. Too bad they reveal all this in his last appearance, because remember, a duel is going on during all this exposition, and to make sure he wins and survives, Lightning merges with Jin completely, so if Vrains wins and deletes Lightning, he deletes Jin too. Season 1 Vrains would not care about this, but because of Playmaker and Jin being from the Lost incident, he does feel some guilt and holds back. Until Bowman intervenes after hearing all that, because he's evolved beyond Lightning, so he takes Jin's data from him, saying that's cheating. If he's really superior like he's been claiming, then he shouldn't need a handicap to win. Lightning is pissed about this and is about to lose now that Vrains has no reason to pull his punches, but Lightning manages to tie the duel, so they'll both disappear, as Vrains gets coded too. But not Lightning, as again, him living is his main goal, so he used a bit of Jin's data he had left to keep himself alive. Bowman does not like that and sees Lightning prioritizing self-preservation over everything else as not logical, and says he's inferior and absorbs him too. Now finally gamers, here it is, the final duel to the Ignis arc, I guess it's called that, of Link Vrains. Yep, it's against Bowman. Not Lightning, the suddenly interesting AI, because he's more concerned with keeping himself alive, a very human thing, adding some depth to him. No, instead it's this plank of wood whose whole thing is I'm a perfect computer so I need to always win, dueling Playmaker, the guy who already beat him twice. This duel is 4 episodes by the way, it's 6 turns, and the final episode of the duel, 102, is just 1 turn. Before the duel, we see that Akira and Emma have begun trying to do a forced reboot of Link Vrains in hopes of fixing everything. Of course, the ultimate solution to every tech issue. Unplugging it and plugging it back in. At the duel, Bowman summons a Link 5 monster, the strongest Link rating, which he made thanks to the Ignis powers, which he is using to spruce up his deck. Also the human meatbags, because he's using their soul data thing to make his big boss monster. Then it's episode 100, which I'm bringing up because it's the worst part of this duel. Which you might think is weird, because this episode has 3 whole turns of the duel. It's got the most action, so why does it suck? Cause it's mostly just people talking. because before getting coded himself, Coulter sent a code to the remaining Hanoi. Byra and the men I don't care about use it to hack into Link Vrains, the mirror one Bowman and Playmaker are in, and mess with him a bit. And then most of the episode is just characters talking. It's just about random shit, it doesn't matter. I thought I was watching an anime about card games, not a podcast. And that's the whole episode. In the next one, Akira and Gigi get got by Bowman, who's absorbing / deleting all the human meatbags and Vrains. But they managed to mess with his skill, which did something. Oh wait, never mind, it doesn't matter. That's basically this whole duel. One of the characters outside of it try to do something to help Playmaker, it doesn't matter, and then we just continue on.
It can use its skill without a neuron link, so that all of our hard work was for nothing.
Anyway, Bowman's skill lets him cheat with this special effect, making it turn out his way all the time, which I guess despite hating lightning for cheating, he doesn't see that as cheating. If you haven't noticed, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Writers like making stuff up as they go along. Characters only need to do one more thing, sever Bowman's link with Link Vrains. So I figures he can do that, and heads into the code thing that links the two, and tries to sever it by sacrificing himself. And it does nothing. Bowman's still fine. Like, what did I just say? It's just people doing stuff that doesn't matter. The duel. It's so boring. And also, for some reason, this episode is overly exaggerated. Yu-Gi-Oh! Always seems to have one episode like this. But it turns out I didn't die. Color me shocked. Cause he put a backup of himself in Robopi. I told you he's important. Again, this isn't what I'm talking about, but he is, I swear, just remember him. And I has a new plan. Force himself in Bowman, phrasing, cause he can do that now and mess with his Ignis powers, weakening him. He does and finds his friends and Lightning. And all of them, with the remainder of their power, give it to I, and this gives him the ability to let Playmaker summon his own Link 5 monster, a big stupid dragon. And using this dragon, he beats Bowman's Perfectron Hydra Drive Dragon. That's its real name. By removing the counter to remove the counter to counter the counter.
By removing one Hydra Drive counter.
By removing one of Dark Fluid's counters.
By removing another counter.
I'll use a counter to...
Perfectron uses another counter.
I use another one of Dark Fluid's counters.
I use another one of my Perfectron's counters.
I use Dark Fluid's last remaining counter.
And so Bowman loses, realizing he's not perfect, he destroys himself and the Mirror Link Vrains. And okay, I was going to end it there because episode 102 is considered the end of this, as 103 kind of leads into the next arc. But it's also a better endpoint, so I'm just going to describe this last episode. We see beating Bowman brings everyone coded back. Hooray! Jin's data is back along with Coulter, Sky's friend, who I forgot about, is fine, and all the humans are saved. Everything's great. Except all the Ignis are dead. Except I. And Soltec kinda got away with being evil with no consequences. And the Hanoi are still out there, and despite the evil Ignis being gone, they head off to a Tech Bro conference to continue to fight ChatGPT. So almost everything is great. Also, when Yusaku heads back home, I disappears suddenly. And Robopi is down? Huh. Well, no time for that, because the epic season finale is here. They pull out all the stops, because it's a clip show for the season we just watched. And yet somehow it's still a better ending than Arc 5. The only thing we really know is everyone just goes back to their lives, doing what they did before. Life goes on. Because as far as everyone is concerned, there's no more threats. There's no reason to continue on being in Link Vrains and everything, you know? It's all been settled. Or is it? Because, as the series ends, we see something interesting. A human man and a child mourning the loss of the Ignis. That's Vrains Season 2, and wow, I'm gonna be honest, I did not realize how bad this season was until I started talking about it. I only really remembered hating Gore's turn, and the pacing was so bad with duels taking up so much time. But as I kept talking about the rest of it, the useless women, the shepherd, the finale, the writing, I slowly realized, wait, this sucks. I think it's because when watching it the first time, I was more concerned with taking notes and making sure I was getting the footage for this video. Now that I had time to reflect on it and digest it, wow, what a piece of shit. Is it as bad as Arc 5? Oh god, no. Because the worst of that, the Friendship Cup was so boring because nothing was happening. Here things were happening, it was just either rushed and pushed to the side because they needed time for the duels, or bad. And man, this whole concept of humans and AI living together, they need to stop bringing it up, because every time they do, they don't really have anything to say about it. None of the characters actually discuss it or make arguments. It's just the good guys are like, AI is great, guys, and then the bad guys are like, no, it's bad. That's the extent of the conversations in this show. Well, we'll see if that philosophy holds up next time, which might be the shortest video of this whole thing. Cause there is one more arc in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. The shortest arc in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, probably, coming in at only 17 episodes. Cause it's basically a really long and unnecessary epilogue. Join me next time, gamers, for the DLC of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. The I arc, I guess is what it's called. See you then.
Well, everyone, it's time. I'll do what needs to be done.